Hello all, and welcome to our website about the emerging technology of driverless vehicles. Throughout your time on this site, we hope you're able to gain a general understanding of the technology, how it works, and how it applies to the general consumer. To further your understanding of the technology, we have prepared a real-world case study on the site about the technology to assist in your understanding. This presentation will provide a brief overview of driverless technology. Throughout this video, we will discuss topics including the history of driverless cars, where the technology has progressed to today, what is in store for the future of the technology, how the technology generally works, and the general impact that the technology may have on the everyday American consumer. Ever since the invention of the automobile, forward-thinking minds have dreamed about how to make the technology more advanced. Even as early as the 1920s, companies such as General Motors and Walt Disney Company have dreamt up what automobile technology may look like in the future. These visionaries were truly far ahead of their time. For several decades, these aspirations remained dreams of these innovators. The technology simply did not develop as quickly as the imaginations. Plans were drawn up, models were constructed, but driverless technology stayed the same. It did not exist. Automotives became faster, better looking, more reliable, but the technology overall did not progress in any significant manner. Fast forward to the turn of the millennium, when technology was rapidly advancing, driverless car technology began to change from an idea into a reality. Technology finally started to catch up with the ideas that had been in place for so many years. With other technology, automobiles were quickly becoming more sophisticated to satisfy a market always wanting more. Electric cars, driving with little to no fuel, first hit the commercial market, and vehicle technology that once seemed like a fantasy quickly became a reality. This made car companies and technology companies believe that almost anything was possible. Wireless technology, as well as Bluetooth technology, provided vehicles, as well as people, the ability to more effectively communicate with one another. With the new abilities to communicate, automobiles slowly began to integrate driverless technologies and automated technologies. This brings us to today. In recent years, the investment in driverless technology has moved to the forefront of the industry. It has started most prominently with cars being able to park themselves or control themselves in certain safety situations. Many car models today have the ability to use sensory technology to understand their surroundings and make decisions for themselves that humans may not be able to make for any number of reasons. This phase of semi-driverless technology has created a market that previously did not exist. All major automotive and technology companies are now in a race to create and perfect driverless technology. This obviously has created a massive influx in investment into the technology. Often with investment comes results and progress. The future is very bright for driverless car technology. With all the money pouring into research and development, it remains only a matter of time until the technology reaches its full potential. As can be seen in the diagram to the right, we are at the very beginning stages of the technology's rollout. Many car models are beginning to include some level of autonomy. However, most of this technology remains safety-focused and not full automation. In the coming years, semi-autonomous driving will be phased into production. All companies will experience different levels and speeds of integration. This technology does not come cheap, however. More expensive brands and models will surely come with this technology far faster than cheaper models will. The expectation is that sometime between the year 2020 and 2025, full driverless car technology will be available for mass market commercialization. Some factors that will potentially impact this technology include, but are not limited to, laws and regulations surrounding the technology, as well as the consumer's acceptance of this technology. We will discuss the further impacts of the technology very shortly. So how does the technology work? Throughout this site, you will find detailed information regarding how the technology works. As you can see in the diagram, the technology is highly dependent on the car's ability to sense its surroundings. All sensory systems will need to work in conjunction with one another in order to provide a safe and effective technology. In theory, this technology is simple, but as illustrated previously, the research, development, and perfection of the sensory systems are all still a work in progress and will take a lot of time and money. The end consumer of driverless car technology will experience a wide range of impacts. The first thing on almost every consumer's mind is cost. Because the technology has so many upfront costs, the consumer will likely see high pricing in their cars as well. These costs will likely be unavoidable to the consumer, as is the case with most new technological advances. It is tough to predict, but the transition to this technology will obviously not happen overnight. Due to this, infrastructure changes such as roads and highways may be necessary to direct the flow of traffic when it comes to driverless cars versus regular cars. This could be extremely expensive at all levels of government, from local to federal. Vehicle and traffic laws and regulations already impact essentially every driver in the country. With new technology on the roads, the United States could see a large increase in these laws and regulations, which will hope to increase the safety on the roads and, of course, create potential revenues for the government. One of these potential new laws may be lowering the driving ages. While this is a complete projection, it seems logical that if a driver doesn't actually need to drive the car, they may not need to be as old to be in it on their own. Roads may or may not become more safe as this technology becomes more prominent. There is little ability to predict the outcome of mixing driverless cars and traditional driver-operated cars. I hope that this brief presentation on the emerging driverless car technology has provided you with some background on the subject. Please feel free to browse around the site and gain a more thorough understanding of the technology that will soon be a part of every American's everyday life.